Welcome to episode 71 of the Final Corner podcast, a double header this week as F1 returns to Spain and the British Touring Car Championship is at Thruxton for the fastest race of the year, where we inevitably thought that Josh Cook might win all three, as he normally does, but not to be this year. The King's been dethroned, I think is the term. There's a new King of Thruxton, and his name is Ashley Sutton. He's the king of everywhere now.
True.
The King of Britain.
Yes. Charlie, you're out. So, yeah, we've got two race events to cover this week, joined always by Tom and by Nick. Did you enjoy your weekend racing?
Yes. Wasn't the best.
That's better than no racing.
Weekends, but it was okay all the way round. There's no standout racing, but it was good fun.
F1 qualifying was quite fun. And just BTCC was a bit subdued though, wasn't it? I think that's the main thing. Perfectly okay.
The old minis were hilarious.
Yes, that was my best part of the weekend, actually.
Yeah, the Mini Challenge Trophy. What a championship.
Have you seen the video of the boy trying to run it around outside the 4 cars at the second last corner at Thruxton at the weekend there? He just completely forgets to brake, try to overtake with 4 people. He's sideways forever, but then he goes through the chicane rather than try to take it, and he probably would have made it as well, and it'd have been the greatest overtake ever. But he cut the chicane and had to give it all back. Such a shame.
I did see they had quite a few crashes as well.
Yeah,
obviously there was one in the broadcast on the final lap, coming out of Club Chicane, and that was like a really fantastic battle to that point, where they're literally bump drafting each other and stuff, and it all just ended in calamity and a big bill. And then I think you, Colin, you shared, but it wasn't broadcast, another race where someone was upside down at one point, right?
Upside down, and then someone ran into the roof.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
mad.
So yeah, the minis are a bit, all the minis, different years, decades, they're all a little bit mad.
That championship had a big incident out the back of the track last year, didn't it? Someone hit the earth bank quite hard. Was it a village?
Quite possibly.
Yeah, but despite that, it does look like a really good, fun championship, and I'd love to compete in that. And when I say compete, I mean drive around at the back, but still.
Yeah,
still competing.
So we might as well start in Thruxton then, since we're already there. British Touring Cars back. We're at near the halfway point of the season now, and as usual, Ash Sutton takes pole. He's got Tom Ingram, and Josh Cook, who's not really been competitive, manages to pull out at his favourite track to get 3rd place.
I thought of it as like the Josh Cook advantage at this circuit is still there per se, but the car just isn't quite with him. So he's had his best weekend of the year, right? Certainly best qualifying. And he was fastest in 2 free practice, so I thought, it could be on. But you were right, Nick, in the end. Didn't get the win.
No. He seemed really subdued as well after qualifying.
Yes. Quite down in the dumps.
Yeah, but like you say, I think he pulled out a performance. It's just the car is much further back than it has been in previous years.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge. And we've been saying this all weekend, haven't we?
Yes. 4th place. Nick, I'll give you the honours.
Ah, yes. Mr. Doble. Brilliant
Mr. Doble. Well done, sir. P4. Hell of a lap. And we've also got Andrew Watson back in the top 10 as well. And then Aaron Taylor-Smith, who you were praising last week, Tom, is back to being competitive. Most weeks in the top 10.
All Astras were good in qualifying. In the races, it sort of went backwards a bit. But the thing about qualifying wasn't there 26 lap times deleted?
Well, there was, that's what Tim Harvey stated, but there was still like 5 minutes remaining of the session.
True,
when he said that.
But it's purely on commentary. Apologies.
Yeah.
You're right to state that. I mean, that was just a mess.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing was a bit of a mess with the tyre stack as well. Because I think, Mr. Doble did benefit from that, because he set his lap time at the point when the tyre stack was missing.
Just to be clear, was this was it both Camish and Rowbottom clipped it at the final chicane?
Camish Kamish was the one who moved it.
Right.
Punted it out of the way, and then they carried on, and that meant that they could cut a bit more of the chicane.
Yep.
And it stayed that way for about 5 minutes. Then they threw the red flag to move it.
Too late.
So anyone who'd set a lap time in that point was able to gain some advantage.
But we can't prove it, but
no,
it feels like it. So I wonder if all Power Max cars were on the track at that exact right moment, but I don't know. We can't really tell.
No.
There's such a spread between the Team Hard Cupras.
Yeah.
There's 2 seconds difference between Dan Lloyd and Jade Edwards. And there's 5 cars in between, and they're all so spread out.
They're really hit and miss, aren't they? It's just like Lloyd and Thompson are up there and everyone else is struggling a bit with them.
To be fair to Jade, though, I believe her car still isn't really finished.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
It breaks down constantly. So
was it twice this weekend?
Yeah.
Because it was very late that they actually got the car done in the first place for the first race. I just don't think it was ever fully put together properly.
Which is that's 4 rounds wasted almost. If that's the case. But it doesn't help when the car's unreliable at Thruxton. For two out of 3 races, I think she broke down. If you watch the Dan Lloyd Snetterton vlog on YouTube, which is going back around, he mentioned that actually his engineers left the team. And now I think that's Kevin Berry, who was like a big superstar signing for the start of the season, and he's already left for whatever reason. So that's not ideal. But then I also saw that not only is Barry Plowman helping him out, but certainly at Snetterton anyway, Matt Neal was working for them in some capacity.
Really?
Or offering advice. Yeah. Very odd. So I don't know if that was the case at Thruxton or what's going on. Maybe he was just there to offer advice, but he was certainly working with him at Snet.
Considering they had that deal with One Motorsport.
Yes, exactly. That was the big pitch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So not sure what's going on there.
Matt Neal was on Twitter the weekend throwing shade at the Fords.
Oh, was he? What was he saying?
He was basically saying if other people get let off the leash in the pit lane, they'll just be as quick. So he's kind of hinting that they're doing something that might get pulled up.
Oh, because Tim Harvey's at pains to explain the speed trap speeds. It's nothing to do with that. It's how it's in the corners. It is clearly something in the corners or the traction on the exit, something like this. Obviously, well, I was going to say 4 amazing drivers, but I'd say 3 really good drivers. And maybe one of them is the best of all time. So that,
It helps.
The best of all time. Does that make him a boat?
The boat, best of all time.
Yes.
Ingram's no slouch, and he's got 2 tenths in qualifying behind him here.
Oh, yeah.
In the champion car from last year, so. What could it be?
Yes. Skill, engineering, and an extra bit of boost in the car or something. Who knows?
They were new build chassis for this year, right? So Matt Neal, pure speculation, could be to do with why would they were already competitive last year, why do another new build, right? And there is leeway in the rules of how you do certain things, right? It's not just every car's the same and you bolt the body kit on. I know there's a lot of shared components. So it's got to be something in the weight distribution or how the roll cage is installed to help structural rigidity, or it's something in the chassis, let's say. That's my guess. They've found maybe a loophole in the rules, a grey area, and exploited it. And fair play, that's motorsport.
Well, yeah.
Or they've just got an incredible setup on it.
Yeah, there's that as well. Well, Sutton keeps saying, "Oh, we've not changed it all year," or something like this. Just because it's perfect. I mean, he's just tweeted 3 days ago, yeah. So Napa Ford's now won 9 out of the first 12 races. BTCC races here. FFS.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. We're getting towards Red Bull territory. Right, on to race 1. Andrew Watson will lose at the start, and he has to get pulled into the pits and get a new wheel on his car. So he starts from the pit lane. Sutton keeps the lead from start and then wins. Double drops back at the start, as does a lot of the Power Max, as you mentioned, Tom. Hill and Tuckenden get ahead. There was a nice little fight between Cook and Hill going through the complex. Cook managed to keep the inside for the final part, and he kept third. And then that was just the top 3, 4 after that. Wasn't really much happening at the front. Kamish gets around outside of Dobo at the final chicane. Is this we get Jelly spun round at the chicane the next lap as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was with... sorry. That was Chilton.
Yeah, they blame Pearson on commentary, but it was Chilton.
Yeah. No reprimand or anything for that. Interesting.
Yeah, I felt a bit sorry for Jelly on that one.
Yeah.
And then was it Osborne checked up and Halstead drove into him?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. I felt a bit sorry again for Nick. He's not having a good time, is he?
No, not good.
No.
No.
I mean, ITVX are loving it because he's getting a lot of exposure for that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
ITVX is actually what I watched this weekend's racing on for the first time in a long time.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it works.
It works.
I mean, they're just constantly plugging subscribe to premium on it, and I'm like, okay, I get that removes the ads, but the experience itself is not premium. You know, like unlike YouTube,
Yeah.
I can't hit a Chromecast button, I can't alter the quality manually, I can't change the speed of viewership back like I could on YouTube. I can on YouTube. I can't click a box so it pops out in its own little browser window. Multiple like functionality things. I'd pay for all those stuff, but no thanks. Wow, moving on, quick.
Couple of nice moves in the midfield between Butcher and Taylor Smith, and also got Rowbottom and Collard.
Taylor Smith was going back a lot in this race to start with, and then towards the end he sort of stabilised. I thought it was weird. I don't think it was. Can't have been a tyre thing. Maybe it was just being overprotective at the start, and then it was fine.
The same could be said of Doble as well.
Yes, because he started fighting back again, didn't he, towards the end?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe it's conservative setup to try and reduce tyre wear and too far that way, I don't know.
Quite possibly.
It was nice to see her boy on telly, at least.
It was.
Yeah.
So Butel's in the
watch.
yes. Butel's in the pits, Halstead's in the pits as well, probably from his crash with Osborne. Dobo gets passed by Rowbottom at Seagrave. Was that the one where he was cutting up the inside of the final part of the complex?
Yeah.
He's done it a few times, Rowbottom. It's a nice wee move.
Yeah, it seems to be his move now.
Yeah, so his previous years, it's been the outside going into the final chicane. I think he did do that once this race. But now he's got a move. We just need to think of a name. Because Swedish Shuffle was the Rydell move. This is, what, the Kid of Mr. Kerfuffle?
Rory Butcher did the Swedish Shuffle on this one, so the Rowbottom... I can't think of a word.
No, Kid of Mr. Kerfuffle.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that one. So Rowbottom's going great, recovering, and then he gets a puncture, which ends his weekend. Really.
Was that the only
ends his race? Sorry,
puncture that wasn't due to contact this weekend? Normally,
I believe so.
Thruxton used to have them all the time, so I don't know if that is contact related. It was the delamination, actually, wasn't it?
That's what they said anyway, but I don't know. Nothing was said as to what caused it.
Yeah, weird one that. Could have just been unlucky and run over some debris, you never know.
Ricky Collard's got balls, according to Nick, and he's prep notes for this one. It gets Adam Morgan around outside and Noble for 9th. I watched that back earlier. It was quite a nice move.
That is a good move. But Ricky needs to calm down a bit sometimes, I think.
Yeah, but with that family history, it's not going to happen.
Because a couple of races, he's like trying to make progress, and then he just got such a chicane, he has to give it back. And then, he's just gone wide, and then he ended up just sort of stagnating.
Yeah, well, he got past Morgan, attacked Doble. As you say, went through the chicane. Had to give the position back to Doble, but then Morgan nicked through as well.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Ricky was happy. No, he was stuck behind. I think Ricky was unimpressed with that because he immediately was flashing the lights at Morgan and everything. Like, Adam's not going to give you the place back to be nice. Like, come on.
No.
It was your own fault for cutting the chicane. So, it's nothing new at the front. Unfortunately, Adam Morgan gets past Doble at Seagrave, but there's a fight back between them, and the Astra gets back through. Doble split the chicane. Morgan then finally gets him towards the end. No, he doesn't get him. Aaron Taylor-Smith gets him, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, he's dropped back early on.
And then he
comes back and gets all three of them, I think. Yeah, because Morgan drops behind Chilton as well at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Morgan sort of disappeared at the end.
Yeah, he got muscled out, didn't he? Was it last lap or not?
Yeah. So there was top 5, 6. Didn't really see in the race. It was all pretty steady. But that 8th to 15th, we got to see a bit of action, race 1. But as I say, won by Sutton from Ingram, Cook, Hill. Josh Cook took the fastest lap. And Aidan Moffat managed to get in the points. We talked about him a few weeks ago.
Boop, boop.
Yeah. Dan Lloyd retired as well. Nick Halstead retired, and Jack Butel was also out.
There was a bit of intrigue with, at one point it looked like Cook might challenge Ingram, but Ingram had it covered in this one.
Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned about Edwards' car being a bag of bits, basically. Her fastest lap was half a second off Nick Hamilton's, and she finished 8 seconds behind him.
Wow.
At the rear.
That's not representative of what she can do.
No, and even Nick Hamilton, he was 11 seconds behind Sam Osborne, and Osborne had that incident at the chicane.
Yeah.
So those Cupras are clearly, they're not all equal, let's put it that way.
Struggling for straight line speed still, so that doesn't help around this venue.
No.
They did get a boost increase, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
For this weekend.
I didn't see that. Oh my word,
No,
sorry.
because the usual BTCC, there's no mention of it anywhere. It was another Tim Harvey on commentary mentioned it at the beginning
is that
of
the only way
qualifying, I believe.
Wow, so was it just the Toka engine, or was it the...
Yeah, it said the Toka engine.
That might contribute towards some of the Astra performance.
The only ones.
No, Astra.
Oh, of course, yeah. Astras.
Yeah. That explains something then.
But it was a small increase, apparently.
Yeah, would it?
Race 2. Oh, well, sorry, Nick, on you go. Before we're going to race 2.
Oh, yes, of course. Mr. Doble finished a pretty reasonable and respectable 8th. I was hoping he would carry on a bit higher up, but the level of the drivers around him, I think he did quite well.
Yeah, it was okay, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Confidence boosting to get a top 10.
Yeah.
On to race 2 then, and it's the same as the first, really, at the start. It starts off with Sutton, Ingram, Cook, Hill, and it finishes with Sutton, Ingram, Cook, Hill, Camish, Tuckington, Butcher. So there's nothing really, there's not much at the front. Bobby Thompson has a moment on the first lap and runs off. I think he gets a lot of grass and gubbins in his radiator and everything.
Because P10-ish could have been a reverse grid podium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Aaron Morgan forces her boy off at the chicane, which, watching it back, was quite a bad one, actually, because Morgan wasn't even making the chicane himself.
No.
I think he got away with that one.
Again, no reprimands or anything?
Lap 2, and then you see Will Powell with a huge smash into barriers. And I've watched this back on slow-mo and everything, and I can't tell if there's contact to break something, or if he just loses it, or because he's racing with I think he's racing with Hamilton, or is he a Hamilton or Thompson? I wasn't really sure.
Oh, Butel, I thought.
Oh, Butel.
Sorry,
it's
blue flashes, isn't it?
It's the blue one. Yeah, it's Butel, but you only see the end of it as he's going, so I can only assume there's a bit of contact, but it was quite an extreme turn right that he ends up going with.
There's two scenarios for me. There's contact from the back on the exit of that corner, and that speared him off. Or they're close. He's run his left wheels on the grass, which has started to spin, and the hard car's got nowhere to go and punts him off because that's it. I can't do anything like that. If I was to guess, it would be the latter, but yeah, we don't know.
Mm-hmm. But
anyway, he keeps trying to drive after impact. I thought, if the bonnet's flopped up, you keep going, but Wow, that's substantial. I'm really surprised the engine was still going.
Yeah, quite a lot of it was left behind on the grass.
Yeah. And then he parks it in the field on the entrance to Campbell Copper Seagrave, right? It's well off the track, but
way off.
I don't know. Like, someone could easily spear into it, I thought.
Yeah,
it would have been a safety car
have
call.
Cars parked there though.
Mm.
I thought a safety car just for the debris on the grass. I know it wasn't on track.
Or barrier.
There was bits of what looked like turbocharger flying there, and I just thought if someone else hits them, they could go flying off into the crowd or something.
Yeah, and it was peeing coolant out or fluid out as well as he was driving along, which I admire his optimism to think I can get this back. And do what? No chance.
Yeah.
So he's off. Gamble's off. Thompson pits.
We don't see what happened to Gamble, right? But suspension's bust.
Yeah, assume he hit something.
Can you imagine if it was a piece of Powell's Honda?
Yeah.
Edwards retires as well. She's got problems. Dan Rowbottom then has an attack on Ronan Pearson at Cobb and passed him at Seagrave, which I thought immediately he should have given the place back because
I agree.
He opens the door by bashing him, and he gets away with it for the race results, but he gets a free place penalty for race 3.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, Rowbottom scappers off down the road immediately, so they can't flip the positions, but
that's true.
They decided to go with a grid penalty rather than a time penalty. Which, when you think it's 10-second penalty for track limits, whereas you can bash someone.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't really get anything. So not really great. There's then a clash between Dexter Patterson and Watson at Club, and that allows Dan to get past again and go up the order.
Dan was the highlight of the race for me, in that he was making rapid progress. So that was, nothing going on up front. We'll watch Rowbottom do some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, he gets himself from 27th or 26th or whatever it was. He started up to 11th by the end. So had it.
Yeah, which is round Thruxton is a very good thing.
Mm-hmm. He pulls that move on Chilton.
What move?
And Morgan. And the Kidderminster kerfuffle, was it?
That's it.
He pulls that one off into the final part of the complex a couple of times, which is good. Dan Lloyd got a 10-second penalty, which would have been for track limits, I think. And Turkington gets Butcher for 6, which is probably the only real pass in the top 7 that happens in the race.
Shows how 2 points showed how difficult it was to race for position or overtake this particular round, whether that's track or temperature or aero wash or a combination of everything, right? Turkington was behind Butcher for half the race?
Yeah.
And looked a bit quicker, but it took him a Herculean effort to get that one position. And they were miles behind by that point anyone else. And the second point was to try and spice things up. Poor Tim Harvey, he was going, well, Sutton's won a second. Oh, provided he passes the ride height test.
Yeah.
Oh, what drama!
I know. You're reaching when the post-race scrutineering becomes exciting. Right, finish off race 2. Go on, Nick.
Yeah, he slipped back a little bit further in this one, but still in the points in 14th place.
Yep.
By the way, have you seen what car Rory Butcher's driving this weekend?
Yeah, he got an upgrade.
Bought him a new car. Oh my god.
He's no longer in an Avensis, according to the website.
Fantastic.
Someone is clearly listening to us, so thank you.
Well, sorry for being critical, but it's only because we care.
Yes, we like the website. Just you confused us for 6 rounds, essentially.
To the point where Colin was doubting me and Nick.
And presumably all of last year as well.
I had an email drafted to Toyota ready to go to get clarity. It's not needed, thankfully. So, yes. At the back, we've got Nick Halstead who ends up the last runners, and then you've got 3 Coopers in a row after that. Lloyd's penalty. So race 3 and drop ball number 12 gets out. No ball gate this time. Everything looked fine. So Adam Morgan is on pole. You've got some notes here about a reprimand.
Yeah, that was the Ricky Collard got a formal reprimand for excessive weaving on the way to the grid.
I've never seen that before.
How? That's the whole job. The whole field is just weaving to get their tyres up.
I wonder if we can watch it back and it shows him doing it. It might have been...
I did watch the broadcast and I couldn't see anything that anyone else wasn't doing. But it obviously didn't show him the whole way around the lap.
Oh, I don't know how you would excessively weave. Could it have been getting up to his grid spot?
Yeah, I had no idea. Unless it was on the way to the grid for the, when they go to the grid
the
grid
event. Walk.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be.
But I don't know.
It's just a Collard conspiracy again. Just
they're
out to get him. They're out to get the Collard family.
Nobody interview him.
Exactly. It's forgetting the fact that Rob Collard got away with murder every single race for about 5 years in a row, and I tweeted about every single one. Right. So they're getting Ricky back for all the things that Rob should have got in the past few years. Yeah. So
right, in 2016, but yeah, carry on.
Race 3. Front pretty much stays the same. Tuckington gets past Aaron Taylor-Smith at Seagrave. There's a big gaggle of cars going towards Noble. Everyone gets through fine. We've got Sutton fighting Ingram through the complex. The guys who were at the front, obviously Sutton, Cook, Ingram, Hill, are all they don't make any real progress.
No, they don't.
Just stuck.
It's weird. So maybe it's like at this track with the rules as they are, with the car development as it is, it's just a status quo. And yes, okay, Sutton's done an amazing job in those 2 races. But, as we alluded to there, it's very much more of a qualifying formula than ever. I think that's what I was trying to get with that sentence before stumbling. Because the mighty Sutton didn't move up a single position, right?
No, he got passed by Cook.
Dropped one.
Oh yeah, dropped one, right.
Yeah, it's the hybrid isn't working for a performance penalty.
Oh yes, right. Yeah, I'm with you now. Yeah, it does work in terms of you can definitely see from certain camera angles when someone's using it versus someone who isn't. Someone did an overtake. It might have been Rowbottom at one point in one of the races. That's very unspecific. I'm sorry. Between Seagrave and Noble, where he kind of had a semi-run, but then you could tell I felt that he had the hybrid boost, the other driver didn't, and he made it past before Noble. And also you can tell if it's defending, and I like the strategy element of it. But you're right, in terms of a pure handicap, it's still not mixing up the grid enough, is it?
I don't mind it in terms of race pace. It's just qualifying.
Right.
Yeah.
No hybrid in it's not working well enough in qualifying, is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, Sutton's got 1 second of boost or whatever it is, and he's still putting it on pole comfortably.
Yeah, and the qualifying advantage is taken into the race now. The guys at the front, it seems like. It doesn't seem like there's a leveler during the race.
No.
It's more in the midfield that you're seeing those hybrid passes.
True. It's a tricky scenario, though. I think we're easy to flag the problem, but let's think about it, of what the solutions could be, right?
Ballast.
Bring it back. Because also, I think it's worth bearing in mind that Thruxton is just a 1 tyre compound, and I think they were brought in to mitigate the fact that the hybrid doesn't necessarily change the grid order that much. But at this track, now, after all I've said in previous years with ballast, I didn't think the different tyre compounds were my preference. I thought they went too far. At Thruxton, I think we saw maybe that with the hybrid era, it is the right thing to have those.
Yeah, I agree. You need something, because this was probably the dullest weekend of BTCC in quite a while.
Well, there was was at Alton Park 2014. That was pretty bad. But you're right. That's a long time ago.
Oh dear, we're going to start talking about Rockingham again soon.
Hey, have you seen that you can? It's sort of been semi-reopened for testing and stuff. You can drive around Rockingham again.
Is it?
Ah.
I think it was just used for the last so many years, dormant, wasn't it, to park unsold cars?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a car park.
Yep.
But I did see some YouTubers now starting to use at least the inner bit again. So it must be available for hire. I think 2014, just to reference that specifically, was the 1 year they used the extra long layout, was it? Remember that? They went down to the banked hairpin.
Yeah.
Whatever year that was, it didn't mix up the racing, so then they reverted back quickly to the one with the tight hairpin earlier on.
Okay.
That was the last time I thought there was a dull weekend. All right. Wow, I messed up again.
Back to 2023. Rowbottom pulls his kerfuffle thing into Seagrave again. He then tries it on Aidan Moffat, but Moffat is Aidan Moffat is Aidan Moffat, so he tried round the inside of the track for 17 laps. And
do you know what? Who got past Moffat? Morgan, wasn't it?
Yes.
On that onboard shot, do you not think Aidan went? Was it too defensive too early, and Morgan just drove around the outside of him?
Or was it Morgan, or was it Rowbottom?
That was Rowbottom.
Oh, sorry, it was
Yeah.
Rowbottom. Yes,
Yeah,
sorry. Right,
he
I've jumped
didn't-
ahead and ruined the order.
He didn't defend it at all. Rowbottom
Yeah.
was a clear pass by the second part of the complex, so he completely made
Right.
a mess of it.
So I think my point I was trying to make was
Yeah.
he learned from that moment and then drove around the inside of the track for the rest of the race.
Yeah, so he gets him at Campbell. That was for second place at that point.
Right, sorry.
Bit of contact between Cook and Sutton at the chicane, but no change in positions there.
They're all behind Ingram at this point, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dan Rowbottom takes Adam Morgan at Church, which was a pretty easy move in the end, I thought.
Would have been logical to wait till after church, but he had such a pace advantage.
Yeah. I think he said he was surprised that he was alongside him. He wasn't expecting to be, but yeah. Just looked like he had softer tyres on. He looked at much more grip.
Yeah, wasn't Morgan like 3 and a bit seconds ahead at one point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in touring cars, that's with a handy driver who knows how to win. That's normally a race win in the bag, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Not when you've got a Ford Focus chasing you.
Yeah, weird.
So Rowbottom gets the lead there in a straightforward move. Tom Chilton then spins. We see him recovering. Jared Edwards retires again. And then Jake Hill cost himself a couple of points trying to get past Dan Camage at Noble. Compromise himself, and then Tom Ingram gets past him to take that position and put himself in ninth. So it was Dan Rowbottom from Ann Morgan and Moffat. Moffat, I think that was his first podium of the year, I believe.
Yes, yeah. And I think we've been a bit critical of him. I think that's valid. But it's been, 2 and a bit seasons in a rear-wheel drive car, so it will take time to adapt. He's been whooped by Cook, but still that was a hopefully morale-boosting result.
Yeah, it was a better performance from Aidan. He messed up in qualifying, but recovered in race 3. So that was your race 3. Josh Cook took the fastest lap to give himself an extra point. And our man managed to finish in the points in all 3 races, which, well done.
Yeah, it's good to see.
14th, Nick?
He was, 14th. Again, carried it on from the last race.
We need to get t-shirts made up for when we go to the race that we're going.
Yeah.
Hashtag double watch.
Double watch. Yeah, nice.
Double.
Well, he's ahead of Andrew Watson in the championship now, and considering how impressive Watson's debut was.
Yeah, but in the dry conditions, it's not quite being as straightforward, has it?
No, I still think Watson's the quicker driver at the moment. He just hasn't quite had the luck.
Did you hear in commentary that Plato was around?
Yes, I heard that.
What could that be about, man? The strangest part of it was, okay, there was a pretty dry race, so it's some filler. It's got us talking. Thanks, Tim. But why mention it if it's nothing to do with the sport? If he was just visiting as a speccy or saying hi to people, you probably know that. You probably don't say anything, right?
Hmm.
Because he tweeted that he was at Carfest North, Carfest South, the day before that, and didn't mention that he was at Thruxton. So it makes you think a bit.
Where is it coming back to?
Personally, I would like it. Maybe if he's not driving, he helps put a deal together, and maybe he's like team manager or something. That would be cool.
Oh, what? Like how he got Ingram his championship?
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. Good old KX Academy.
Yeah. The interview after Ingram's first win is burned into my head forever.
It's up there when he got annoyed that he won a race because the Hondas took each other out, but he was still like, the parrot is not good enough. That was a good one as well.
Yes, so that is British Touring Cars. We'll leave it there. Sutton won the championship.
Well, if any series where that's not necessarily so sure, it's this one.
Sutton 183, Tom Ingram 169, Tuckington 142, Hill 130, Dan Camish 128. That's the point standings.
Camish, notable by his absence in any sort of meaningful way. 3 solid positions, but again, comprehensively outqualified by Sutton, and that's put him on the back foot that weekend there. I would say his championship's hopes are over now. He has to help Sutton again. Yeah. After all that promise of round 1, it's kind of over now. Yeah.
Mistakes in qualifying's cost him.
Attendance was up 17%, by the way.
Ooh.
That's Plato and his entourage.
Yeah. And ITV, some parts of it of the next round in Alton Park will be on ITV1.
Yep, first 2 hours.
Back to that, are we?
Yes.
Okay.
So
must remember to change my recording.
Get your recording set, folks.
Apparently it's a simulcast, but double check.
Oh, right.
But yeah, double check, because
we've been tripped over before.
Yes, so. we have. So, any more on touring cars before we go to Barcelona?
Nope.
Right, over to the Formula 1 then. And it was a upgrade weekend for Mercedes. We get to actually find out what the upgrades have brought at Monza were going to be like. Monaco were actually going to be like on a proper track. Qualified was interesting because it had been raining in the morning and the track was still a bit damp, and I think it's about turn 12, I think. Still had a wet patch that Nick De Vries couldn't get through.
Yeah, was that 2 or 3 times?
Yes.
Every lap.
Yeah.
Did Bottas have a moment there as well?
Yeah.
I think half the grid did.
Well, Bottas spun, they brought out the red flag, and then he got going immediately. So.
Yeah, that was just silly.
So yeah, the rest of qualifying was Q1 was just people spinning. Alonso put it off on his warm-up lap and damaged his floor.
Yeah, I was going to say damaged the car, apparently, yeah.
Leclerc's terrible, and he was complaining about something wrong with the rear. I think they rebuilt the back of that car, and he was still nowhere in the race. So, in Q1, we lose Charles Leclerc. He's 19th, incredibly. Q2, but then lose Sergio Perez and George Russell.
Yeah. Russell's a weird one there. I know, because did Perez go off?
He did. Perez had a terrible off at, like, whatever that turn's called. Turn 8?
5?
5, yeah. That annoying left-hander.
Yeah.
So he goes off.
To start with.
Yeah. Then there's a crash between Hamilton and Russell.
What was the full context to that? Because I only saw a replay from on the straight where they punted each other. But did they ever show it on the run-up?
Yeah. Yeah, the run-up was shown live. So Russell pulls over to let Sainz go past at the last corner. And then he cuts right in front of Hamilton to start his own lap. So because Russell abandoned the lap, he's out of sync. So they must tell him that Sainz is coming behind, but then he pulls right in front of Hamilton and starts his lap. He claims he doesn't know Hamilton's there, which I can see probably from the move.
Yeah.
He tries to get the slipstream of Sainz and then pulls back over to the left, not realising Hamilton's there, and Hamilton loses his front wing.
And George is out of qualifying.
What do you think of that, Nick?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. I think it's just bad communication from the team in general.
Yeah, they said miscommunication. They all said that Russell should apologise to Hamilton, and then Nico Rosberg says that Hamilton should apologise to Russell as well. Because
of course he did.
Hamilton should have known that Russell was going to be out of qualifying if he didn't get the lap, and shouldn't have attacked him down the straight.
I mean, we're all rolling our eyes, but
yeah.
Ultimately we are still talking about him. So he's done his job. He's learnt well from Jacques Villeneuve.
Did you see Horner kind of call him on it at the weekend?
I saw some thumbnail on YouTube, but I didn't click it.
It's basically Horner's talking about Perez's performance, and then Rosberg, as he usually does, jumps in and goes, "Well, I thought Perez was terrible the first half of the race. He's miles off the pace." And Horner just goes, "Hey, since you've got the car, you're awfully critical of these drivers, aren't you?" And you kind of see that Rosberg just kind of goes,
"Yeah,
right, we won't go down that road," because I know he's at it. So, Q3 result, Verstappen from Sainz. Lando Norris somehow put the car third.
Yeah, amazing.
Hamilton was fifth, but starts fourth because Gasly got 2 free-place grid penalties for impeding people.
Yeah.
Did you see the impediments as well? They're pretty bad.
Yeah. Apparently the French don't put mirrors on the cars.
And Alonso was, doing his usual commentary thing as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was fun.
It was. But, Hulkenberg going to Q3 and both McLarens in, so that's encouraging.
Was it?
Well,
because I would say they've done a really good job, but the caveat of Russell, Perez and Leclerc should also already, they should be up there.
Yeah,
don't take my fun away.
Sorry.
But they didn't do the job, and he did.
They didn't. Yes. No, absolutely. Sorry. Yep.
Well, we'll find out a bit more in Montreal next. That'll be...
is it Montreal next?
Taking a step.
I didn't realise that.
It is. Yeah, next weekend.
Yeah, bloody Stroll made some reference to maple syrup, didn't he?
Oh, good. And apparently the organisers have come out to say and said that the wildfires, which have turned New York orange, are not threatening the race. So.
Okay. Yeah, it looks wild, that. I hope everyone's alright.
Yeah, if anyone can hear noise and squeaking in the background, that's my dog. I'm just gonna.
It's not going on my end.
Oh, I can hear it. I'm not gonna try and edit out or pause or anything. If you hear noise, it's the dog. So we'll leave it at that. And get the start. Lando Norris, he's fantastic weekend. Ends at turn 2.
Yeah.
Sainz tries to challenge Verstappen into turn 1 on the outside, which slows him down. Hamilton has to check up going through turn 2 and cuts left. Makes contact with Lando. He loses his wing. He pits. He's last. He pits a couple more times, but he never recovers the ground.
No. Yeah, I just don't think they had the race car under them. They obviously did a great performance in quali, but I think he would have ended up at the tail end of the points even if he hadn't damaged the car.
Yeah,
okay.
But that would have been better than basically driving around last all race, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, you look at where Piastri ended up. He ended up 13th at the end. So
maybe the third place in qualifying, flattered to deceive about the pace of the McLaren, really. Stunning one lap. But when it came to it, a mistake at the start, but also just neither of them were really that quick, even when it was all alright anyway.
No. Russell takes the escape road through turn 1 and turn 2. He's fighting with a Haas and I think Piastri as well. And he manages to come out in front of Piastri, who you could argue whether he was entitled to that position or not, but he got away with it anyway.
He was investigated, wasn't he?
He was level with him, I would have said. The stewards said that he was ahead. But I thought it was a little bit iffy.
Yeah,
I agree.
Great start, though, he made. He made up like 4 places before he got to turn 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Aston Martins are quick at the start. Stroll gets in front of Hamilton, but about 5-10 laps in, the everyone just comes towards Mercedes and they suddenly are quick. Russell manages
and can go a while on those tyres.
Yeah. They went. Well, Hamilton went 10 laps longer in his soft tyres than Sainz can manage, which only gave him second in the end. But Russell gets past Alonso and Hamilton got past Stroll easily. So Mercedes are closing in on Aston, if not quicker at certain points now. We get a bunch of overtakes into turn 1.
Yeah.
I think it's the most Spanish overtakes or most overtakes of the season or something, all into turn 1. But yeah, there were, like, you've got Perez recovering. Leclerc doesn't go anywhere, but you get Perez recovering, you get some moves in the midfield involving Hulkenberg a lot and the Alpines. But
that was all to do with alternate tyre strategies, wasn't it? Like, Hulkenberg started falling back, so they pitted early, so then he fought forward, and then his tyres wore out because he pitted first, so he went back again.
Yeah.
All kind of ended up in a status quo for the most part. So I was watching a lot of overtakes, but I wasn't necessarily caring about them.
No, I didn't have a clue who was actually in what position for most of the race either.
No. You didn't know who was in the net actual thing.
Yeah.
So it was all a bit formulary.
Yeah, and it was, as I say, almost every overtake was DRS. And it was too powerful because most people were getting past and then pulling back in by the braking zone. Whereas if it was 100 metres shorter, they'd be having to make a dive into turn 1.
Yeah, I hate when the stats say most overtakes and stuff, because I suppose it raises the question, what constitutes an overtake? Of course, they are overtakes, so you've got to count it, but what we want to see is something under braking, right? Or on the exit of a corner.
Well,
that's a bit more skillful.
Imola was cancelled the other week, and the F1 YouTube were showing, was it 2006?
Was it Alonso Schumacher?
Widely regarded as one of the greatest races you could watch.
And there was no overtaking?
No. So, number of overtakes doesn't equal excitement.
Exactly. That's why I'm worried if we're going down that route of trying to release these stats. Unless it's a third-party journalist who's worked it out, and I don't know the full context of the article, it's a dangerous path to go down. Formula E did that with their own YouTube highlights a couple of races ago. 190 overtakes or something like this, it said in the YouTube title. Clicked it and I was like, well, I don't understand what the heck is going on here, so I don't really care about them.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, we're coming back to this DRS debate again, aren't we?
Yeah.
Great racing isn't just overtakes.
Correct.
And most of these overtakes were easy.
Yeah. No
Russell's
skills.
No,
Russell
Russell's
did a
one
good
on Ocon was a good one.
Yes.
So it was quite late.
Notice Toto's on his radio a lot more these days. Don't know if that's a calming figure or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hulkenberg came at the pits, managed to get past Joe. Sorry, Yuki was coming at the pits as Hulkenberg was getting past Joe, and Hulkenberg got 2 and 1.
That was fantastic.
It was.
And yeah, you've got the midfield battle between those guys pretty much a full race.
Yeah. Ultimately, Hulkenberg fell back. I think they, flattered to deceive there by pitting a bit too early at the first one that set him on a downward spiral. Could be wrong there.
It definitely looked like the tyres were going off quicker.
Yeah. But then on the radio, he was saying, we need to do something different. I don't know if they listened to that and acted accordingly or what, but didn't quite work out for either of the Haas. They just sort of fell backwards.
Aye, it didn't end up a good weekend for them. It looked quite promising in qualifying for Hulkenberg. As we mentioned, Sainz pits 10 laps earlier than Hamilton for mediums. Mercedes just holds on to his tyres. Yeah, big mistake. Hamilton just breezes past for second. Verstappen started on the mediums, but he goes quite long on them, goes on the hards, doesn't like the hards, but it has enough gap to then go on. I can't remember if it was medium or soft at the end, but it goes on a fresh set of something at the end quite comfortably.
Yeah, I think it was softs, but I'm not sure.
Leclerc goes on the softs, but then goes backwards. Gasly gets past them quite easily. And try to think what else was exciting.
Oh, well, Max nearly got a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. For track limits. He got 3 warnings, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fair. He got a 4 from British touring cars. He'd been taken out his car and shot. So
I do not endorse that sentiment.
but in F1 he would have got. It was like 25 seconds ahead, and I'm like, oh, don't get a penalty.
I know
You would have got 5 seconds. You could have got
was what
5
was
of
making
them.
me laugh. It's just,
So of course he went and did it anyway.
Yeah, he went and got his fastest lap. Yeah.
I mean, he could have run wide so many times and still easily finished in front.
Exactly. It was ridiculous. I thought we saw a bit of, again, an experience in F1 from Nick DeVries with an overtake on that Gasly got on him. He was slipstreaming Magnussen and kind of puts a lazy run to the inside that he's never actually going to go for.
Yeah.
And Gasly just goes round outside him.
And slightly clips his wing in the process.
Yeah,
you're right.
does.
That was one move where you thought, oh, bit too timid there. Or indecisive.
Yeah, commit or don't try.
Don't do a Yano Trulli.
He wasn't holding anyone up, was he?
But Trulli, known for the train, but he did also, when he went for an overtake, he always just did a half look.
Yeah.
And either didn't overtake or clattered into someone.
Jarno still racing these days, is he?
No, he's got a vineyard, hasn't he, that's very successful. Doesn't he have a successful range of wine?
I don't know, I was going to guess a hair salon.
Vitantonio Liuzzi has a restaurant in Milan. And Yano Trulli, and he serves Yano Trulli's wine, I think. Hang on a minute. Live Google.
I'm on it.
Masera Borgo de Trulli Winery in Puglia. In fact, you can buy it from Webb's Garden Centre in the UK. Oh, Waitrose sells it. How about that?
I can't afford to go to Waitrose. How expensive is it on Waitrose?
£9.
Oof. You know how many bottles of Frosty Jacks you can get for that?
Oh, Scotland.
We've got minimum alcohol pricing in Scotland, so the bottles of White Lantern and that aren't as cheap as they used to be.
That's interesting.
So yeah. Right, but
more interesting than racing.
Exactly. Russell reports rain, but he's actually just sweating. So that's,
that was the highlight. Yes, that was the highlight.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, no. There was the penalty, wasn't there, about Sonoda?
Oh,
Sonoda gets a penalty at turn 1 for going off track. No, for defending.
Pushing off
against
Joe.
You can't defend. You're not allowed to do that, sorry.
Yeah.
That penalty was utter nonsense.
Yep, totally with you.
It was a bad one, that.
Yeah. I don't
there
think
was space for him.
I think there was space, but I also think it was Yuki's corner anyway. I mean, yes, he braked very late. You could tell from the brake dust flying off, but he made the corner. And he made it comfortable.
Yeah, he made the corner. It wasn't going to run off, was he? He sort of opened the steering angle a bit and defended. He's got the right. He's ahead. He's on the inside.
I mean, if there wasn't that runoff there, then Joe would have backed out of it and pulled him behind him. But because the runoff's there, he runs straight off and says, "Oh, he pushed me off."
Yeah, exactly. So the people involved in that decision, we don't agree. Sorry, that was a bad one. And Yuki was rightly annoyed on the team radio after the race. Because in this day and age, there are so many quick teams that are far ahead of everyone else. An 8th or a 9th is like a really hard-fought victory for, Haas, AlphaTauri, McLaren, Alfa Romeo, Williams. So he did that on track. He did the best he could possibly do. And I just felt that was a bit harsh.
I totally agree with that.
Dropped him to 12th. And afterwards he said, I don't care about the car, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Yuki.
Yeah, that was a poor moment.
Did he get some points in his license as well? Could be wrong there.
I didn't see
I
that.
hope not.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Might want to reverse out of that opinion.
He does the exact same thing as Max does on lap 1. And none of lap 1's judged.
Yes, true. Against Sainz, yeah.
He does the exact same thing. So I think that is complete nonsense to the stewards. as usual. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about the race.
The only thing I had to cover was Alonso's radio message. Did make me laugh.
Yes, the Alonso Stroll thing at the end was wild, wasn't it?
Because as I wrote in my thing, it's just Fernando's the person who waited in the pits to stop Hamilton from setting a lap in quali when they were teammates.
2007.
Yeah.
And allegedly bribed mechanics and allegedly blackmailed teams.
Yes. And now he's just going, tell Lance not to worry.
Yes, it's all in that rather wonderful book.
Mm.
I am forgetting the author of, I'm afraid. Apologies. I'll circle back to that while I remember. He's now the voice in the F1 game, though, of your engineer. Oh, Mark Priestley.
Yeah.
Mark Priestley's book.
Elvis.
Elvis, that's it. Yeah, recommend. It's a good read. And, yeah, time to
Has
change.
Jeff been sacked?
Yes.
Sacked Jeff?
Yeah, that was last year, yeah.
Oh, no.
That was
Jeff.
another thing that
poor Jeff.
annoyed me.
The handling was terrible when Jeff was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Priestley.
They could have just kept the old one as well. Could have been a choice between the two.
True, because you can switch between David Croft and Alex Jakes.
Mm.
So you could have had that.
Which
right?
I'm sure Colin would do.
Definitely would. Oh, he's so crap.
We're going to quickly mention about the Alonso thing. Do you think it was like a real mind game? Because by vocalising that he's just going to, let's sit there, and by waving at the crowd on the last lap, it really shows that I've got the better of him. But, he can have his point.
Yeah, he was drifting it and everything.
Yeah.
Very strange behaviour.
What I wanted to see was him say, tell him not to worry, and then he passes him anyway.
Yeah, I know, right? I thought it was a double bluff.
Mm.
But he just sat there, didn't he? Basically, just outside DRS for the rest of the race. And
Yeah.
you could have had him, I reckon.
I suppose he's got nothing to play for, though. There's no chance of a championship challenge, so that...
Well, last week he was saying opposite.
Yeah. Last week he was talking about his championship fight.
No, mate.
No. Not happening. Yeah, I felt sorry for Yuki in the end. His 5th place penalty dropped him down from 9th to 12th. Which I didn't think was particularly fair.
Wasn't deserved.
No.
So, as we've said every week, Max has won the championship already. Perez managed to recover to 4th. And we've got a double Mercedes podium and 2nd and 3rd. Christian Horner after the race was like, why is everyone talking about Mercedes upgrades? They still finished 25 seconds behind us. But our F1 journalist pointed out it's because the 5th finished like 56 seconds behind you at the first race of the year.
Yeah.
So they are catching. Aston Martin are bringing upgrades the next few races.
Mm-hmm.
They're expecting to go back ahead on Mercedes then. Mercedes are expected that they've spent a good bit of their budget bringing this upgrade, so who knows how much further they'll go this year. But that's all to come. We're next in Montreal next weekend on the 17th and 18th of June, if my calendar is correct. So we're back then for Montreal, which is my favourite track.
Me too.
Not for racing, I suppose, but for driving around it. It's the best.
It's always okay for racing as well, really.
Who's going in the wall this year?
Logan Sargent, definitely.
Do you see those pictures of the basic Williams floor?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was genuine or not.
Well, James Vowles then responded to it with an official Williams video, didn't he? Where he was basically saying, it's kind of deceiving angles of the pictures, but it's basically true. We need to do a lot of work on it.
I thought it may have been last year's floor or something like that.
No. It's a legit pit.
It's crazy because Williams have had so much wind tunnel time the past couple of years because they've been slow. And what they've developed is basically the bit of plastic you get on top of a car, like a milk tray, when you open this back. So they've just put that in the bottom of their car and went, that'll do, lads. Who needs CFD? We can just have a flat floor. That'll generate the ground effect.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see it's growing not easy if they've basically not been able to come up with anything at the base, the back end of the floor anyway. But We didn't see the front end of the 4. That was James Bell's point. So the front end might be incredible.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Next weekend as well, we're in Alton Park for the British Touring Cars.
Lovely.
So we've got another double weekend then. So we've got a weekend off. And we're back then.
I'd just like to end, if it's okay, with a couple of thoughts.
Absolutely.
While we're recording, it's not a sport we cover, but Ferrari has qualified in pole position for the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the last few minutes.
Ooh.
First time in 50 years they've done that, ahead of Toyota. Toyota's won every race so far in WEC this season, although Ferrari has had a pole before. Controversially, last week the BOP changed. A few days before Le Mans, when it was previously stated that wouldn't necessarily be the case. So I think Toyota's not best pleased. They've qualified third. It's a 24-hour race, so qualifying doesn't really mean that much. But still, Ferrari can do something on pole position, one sport. If it's not Formula 1, they're doing that. And, we were talking about the alleged, I don't know what we're saying, pressure on Collard family. From what was the term we used? Sorry.
The conspiracy
against. I think it's actually you, Colin. I've just searched the word Collard from Bar66 on Twitter.
Oh no, what have I done?
I'm going to read out some old tweets.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
This is for 20. Oh, there's only two actually. 2022. Ricky Collard just making up his own track layout in race 1. Spent more time off the track than on. Mental race. So maybe these new rules are actually based on his previous driving behaviour. They've stopped it September. Would that be in Silverstone? And then a belter from 2016. Watching race 3 of BTCC, of course Collard does something stupid. Numpty. I think we should end on that.
That tweet had 1 like. Guess who liked it, Tom?
Oh, was it me?
Yes.
I didn't check that. Fantastic.
I'm sure I've had more tweets about Rob Collard. I've probably deleted them at some point.
Yeah.
So,
fantastic.
We'll end on that. But did you see the NASCAR in Le Mans?
Oh yeah, Garage 56. You see, out qualified is quicker than the GT field.
Yeah,
I was surprised by that.
It's
Mike Rockenfeller, Jimmy Johnson, and Jenson Button driving it.
Yes. Jenson Button was like, I can't believe this is so quick.
Yeah.
So,
it's wild. We'll see if it lasts 24 hours, but I thought it'd be, at the back of the entire grid. And it's rather dangerously, he's kind of in the middle.
Yes, exactly.
Every picture you see of it on track with another car near it, you just think, it's in the wrong track, it's in the wrong race. That shouldn't be there. It's an invasion. It just looks completely out of place.
I did not even know this was a thing. I'm curious. I'm going to have to watch this.
Oh, you've got to Google it. So Garage 56 is like a slot at 24 Hour Le Mans that's available sometimes for like prototypes and weird stuff. Nissan once ran an electric car, which I think it got punted out in the early hours, unfortunately. And someone else has done something before. So this year, NASCAR as an organisation has entered a modified NASCAR.
It's got to be worth a good look.
It looks so out of place because it's basically massive. It's like twice as big as everything. They've had to modify it quite heavily. It's got different lights. It's got a paddle shift where normally it's sequential. It's got wing mirrors now. But the weird thing is, when they get in and out of the car, it doesn't have any doors or anything. So they just have to climb out the window.
Well, yeah, they've got to make it go right as well.
Yeah, right. So amazing initiative. When you see it in action, it's just like, wow. Apparently it sounds incredible if you trackside. Fair play.
Yes.
Normally NASCARs don't break either, and it must have some pretty serious upgrades in that department.
Yes. Is the actual race this weekend?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's 2:00, I think, on Saturday.
I'm assuming on Eurosport.
Oh, it's on Discovery.
Who owns Eurosport? So
yes.
Maybe they've moved it to a different thing.
Well, they put all the sport on a streaming service now, Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus. Ooh.
So
have you ever used Discovery Plus?
No.
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
What did you watch?
But I use it through Amazon.
Okay.
I don't really know what I watch on it. Just whenever I've got nothing to watch, I find some form of documentary or something on
Yeah, it's got a load of random documentaries, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's also got a load of these bloody stupid haunted house programs.
Yes, I don't watch those.
Do not understand that because it's all fake people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time Gogglebox usually covers something scary, and like, oh, what platform is it? Yes, it's Discovery Plus. It's someone going, there's a ghost under the carpet.
Under the carpet.
And of course, BT Sports is owned by Warner Bros. Discovery now as well.
Oh, is it?
It's becoming TNT Sports in the summer.
No way.
Yes. I knew there was rebranding, but I'd forgotten what it was.
Yeah, well, TNT is the former Turner Network Television America. It's still the TNT channel. So they bought BT Sport, or at least a big chunk of it, and it's rebranding in the summer. So yeah, we need to check our listings to see what Le Mans on TV, because I think some of the WEC gets shown on. Does it get shown on ITV as well? It did last year.
Oh,
some of it I'm sure was on ITV at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I subscribe to their YouTube channel, and there'll be brief highlights throughout the race, so that's well worth checking out if you don't have a subscription service.
Yeah,
but it's well worth watching this year because it's a commitment, isn't it? But at least check out some highlights. I recommend it. I know it's not F1 or British Touring Cars, but the field of top class cars is up to 16 now. You've got Porsche, Glickenhaus, Van Wall, Peugeot, Toyota, Ferrari, Cadillac, and I don't know if I've missed another manufacturer out, but fantastic lineup. But Jacques Villeneuve got sacked just before it, so he's not there.
That's always good to know.
Yep.
Poor Jack. Right, okay, we'll leave it there. That's enough for this week. We'll be back with Alton Park and Montreal in a week and a half's time, whenever this gets released. Apologies, It's late. But we'll be back then. Yeah. Hopefully I might get a championship fight after Alton Park. That's my hope anyway.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see you then. Thank you again for downloading, and cheery bye.
Thank you.
Nick's not saying bye this week, so that's fine.